All right, I think we're ready to get going here. This is your host, Vishon, and you are on the Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central, and we do these every single Monday. And I'm excited to have you here with me. I saw Brigitte was out there, and if there's anybody else who is out there live, go ahead and you'll see an area down below where you can log in and chat and let me know you're there, ask questions and things like that. So if you're new to this, every Monday when I host the Down and Dirty at 1:30, the goal is to help you, to guide you, to teach you about online marketing, and also to inspire you in your life and help you to be a better business owner. Okay, so this is for entrepreneurs, and that's my target. And I hope that if you're watching today, that you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, or you already are one and want to be even better at what you're doing. So with that said, today I'll be focusing on how to identify the perfect audience with Facebook ads. And I think so often, if you've ever ran a Facebook ad, it's challenging to get them to work the way that you want them to work. At least it was for me. I know that when I first started running Facebook ads, I wasn't having any success at all. And I couldn't figure out why. A lot of my colleagues were having all this success with Facebook, and they were, touting how wonderful of an advertising platform it was, but yet I felt like all I was doing was just spending money on it and not getting the return on my investment. So I want to help you though, because I've been able to crack the code when it comes to Facebook, and I've had a lot of success with getting leads with Facebook, and also in driving traffic to different offers and things that I've got going on. So today we are going to be sharing with you some of the secrets or tips that I've learned that I hope will help you in your life. So let me get my screen turned around here. All right. Double check, make sure you're there. Hey, Brigitte, good to see you. Awesome. And we are recording this, so for those of you that are watching this as a recording, hello to you as well. And also feel free, even if you're watching a recording, to comment down below. I do check those, and I will answer to those people that post comments or questions. All right, so how to identify the perfect audience with Facebook ads. So let me give you a brief overview here. I had read an article on Inc. magazine. I don't know if you've ever read that magazine. I read their online version, and they're a very popular website and magazine for entrepreneurs. And there was an article in January that said 62% of small business owners say Facebook ads don't work. And it just kind of made me scratch my head, because the question was, does that mean that they are ineffective? Like Facebook ads are ineffective? Or is the problem user error? Well, I have to say, after doing some research and also running my own ads, I believe the problem is user error. Because Facebook can be rather complex to figure out on your own unless you have a mentor or you've gone through a class or training to learn how to do it properly. So I really believe the reason so many of these small business owners are failing is that they don't understand the right way to advertise online. So I put together kind of a short list of what I call rookie mistakes that a lot of people make that make their success not as successful when they're running ads. So here they are. So the first one is using the boost button when you're running ads. I know you've probably seen this if you have a Facebook fan page. There is an option in Facebook to boost your ad. And it's a little blue button that runs underneath whatever you put on Facebook. And that boost button, although it does oftentimes give you what Facebook considers a great deal on advertising for very low cost, what it doesn't do is it doesn't give you the types of metrics or detail or additional ways to narrow down which audience that you're targeting. And so it limits you and your success. Plus, you aren't able to run ads that we call dark ads. I don't know if anybody listened to Gary Vaynerchuk, really amazing marketer, and he is always touting Facebook and the benefits of running dark ads. A lot of people don't know what those are. So in a nutshell, a dark ad on Facebook is an ad that you don't actually post on your fan page. Like nobody who comes to your fan page will see it. So it's dark, it's hidden. But the ad shows up for those people that you specifically target. And the only way to run those type of ads are to run using what I call the ads manager. Well, not just me, what Facebook calls the ad manager, or to run them through the Power Ads system. Okay, and I will give you just a short demo today on where you can find that if you haven't used that before. But dark ads are the way to go, and you can't do all the things that make your ad successful using the boost button on Facebook fan pages. All right, another rookie mistake, not running enough test campaigns. I don't know about you, but when I first ran my first Facebook campaign, I just put one ad up there. I did use the ads manager because I had learned how to do that from a mentor of mine. But I put one ad out there, and I want to say I spent, I don't know, a few $100s on my first ad, and I got maybe one lead out of it. And I wasn't really happy with that. And I was like, man, you know, I thought Facebook was so amazing. Well, it wasn't that, you know, Facebook is amazing, but it wasn't that. It was that I didn't run any tests at all. And we're going to talk about running test campaigns a little bit today, and that should help you if you're having some of these issues with getting success, getting leads, you're getting any type of traffic to your offer. All right, another rookie mistake is spending more money than you earn from the ad. And that was a prime example of what I just gave you. You know, I spent a few $100s, but then I ended up only getting one lead, and they didn't even buy anything. So I didn't make any income off of that ad. So whenever you run ads, especially when you're testing, you have to use money that it's kind of like gambling. I mean, I hate to compare, but initially that's really what you're doing. When you're testing things, you're using money that you don't mind if it's gone. Okay, you have to kind of consider that money already gone, and you're using it to test things out to find your perfect ad campaign, your perfect target market. Okay, so I will tell you that you can run ads for really inexpensive on Facebook. And by inexpensive, like you could spend $40 a month and you could still have some success with Facebook. So to me, that's really low. Okay, compared to other advertising resources, that is extremely low. So you know, when I test things, I usually test them for like $2 a day, you know, for a few days just to see how they perform, and then I'll ramp them up from there. So don't spend a ton of money on an ad thinking, oh, if I pump more money into it, it's going to work really well. That's not always the case. You really need to spend money that you have and that you're not afraid to lose, because initially you are testing, and then once you get your test done, then you can start cranking more into it and have a good idea as to how it will perform for you. All right, another rookie mistake is tracking what they call in the industry vanity metrics. And vanity metrics are metrics that don't matter. In other words, they don't matter to your bottom line. They aren't making you any money by those metrics. You know, like I'll give you an example. Vanity metric is, you know, let's say that you boosted your ad, and it says that, I don't know, over 2,000 people saw and liked your ad. Okay, well, that's great. I mean, I'm glad that 2,000 people saw and liked your ad, but how many of them actually clicked on it and ended up going to your webpage and buying something from you? You know, so it doesn't really matter how many people liked your ad or how many people saw it, unless you can show a return on your investment on the end. So vanity metrics, they may make you feel good, like it's performing, it's doing something, but if they aren't helping your bottom line, then those metrics don't matter. So stop tracking them. All right, the other one, another rookie mistake, is giving up too quickly. You know, if you're not having success, it's not that you know, the Facebook doesn't work. I think so often we jump to that conclusion that Facebook ads don't work, or any type of ad that you run doesn't work, because you gave up. You didn't try a few different tests, and you may have just been one test away from hitting jackpot and finding the perfect audience that wants everything that you have. So don't give up too quickly. Be willing to test things. Like I said, you could do it for as little as $2 a day. You could start running tests and see which ads work best for you and your business. And then the number one rookie mistake is choosing the wrong audience to market to. Yeah. So I think a lot of people use what I call the shotgun approach, where they try to target their advertising to everyone, and they're not narrowing their audience enough to hit people who are similar to them, who like what they have, who are interested in following them and becoming lifetime customers. So, this is all goes back to the testing, and that's what I'm really going to focus on today, is showing you how you can choose the right audience. How do you narrow that down? Because so often, you don't even know what to target other than, age and gender and things like that. Who do you specifically target when you're running the ad? We're going to talk about that next. So let me check in, see if you guys can hear me. Everything's coming through. Bridget, thank you so much for the feedback. All right. Well, I'm going to keep going in unless there's any questions. Feel free to comment in the chat window, and then I'll answer those as we go along. All right. So let's start off with my number one tip, and that is to use the Ads Manager to run your ad. So the Ads Manager, there's two questions you might have if you're not familiar with the Ads Manager. One is, how do you use it? And the second question is, well, why? Why do you use it? Well, how? I'm going to do a quick demo here in just a moment, but you basically go to your Facebook homepage. So just facebook.com, make sure you're logged in. And then in the left-hand side, there's a bunch of different things you can click on. You're going to click on the one that says Ads Manager, and you'll use that to run your ad rather than clicking Boost. Okay, so pretty simple. And then, why? Why do you use the Ads Manager? Well, it gives you more ad options, specific audience targeting, better metrics, so you can see how well your ad's performing, and tracking tools so that you can, start using your existing audience to create a new audience. So imagine this for a minute. If you could put an ad script that Facebook gives you onto your website, and then Facebook starts tracking people that come to your webpage, and then it finds people that look similar to those people. Yeah, it finds like their twin. It goes out on Facebook and it finds people that are like the twin to people that come to your webpage. They call that a look-alike audience. So these are some really cool things that you can do in Facebook that you just can't do if you're using the Boost campaign. All right, so I promised you I would show you where this is if you haven't gone and used the Ads Manager before. So let me go to my Facebook page, close some of this stuff off. Okay, so when you first go into Facebook, if you've been scrolling around in your news feed, just click the home button. Okay, and then once you're on the home page, you'll see on the left-hand side, I'll make this a little bigger. On the left-hand side, you'll see right underneath the Explore section is the word Ads Manager. So you would click on the Ads Manager, and that's going to allow you to run an ad in a more professional way. Okay? All right, so let me go back to the PowerPoint, and then I will show you, I'll be going kind of back and forth between my slideshow and the Ads Manager, and I'll show you a few other tips as we go along. But I'm going to keep going for now. Okay, so if you don't have time today to watch this whole presentation, then this is the part that I want you to definitely write down, because this is what I would recommend. This is what I do recommend to my own students that I mentor, is to run 2 tests. And these are the first 2 ad tests that I recommend to everybody that they run. Okay, so the first one is you're going to create an ad. And the first one you're going to target is their age, their location, and a single general interest. Okay, so by age, let's just back up a little bit. You want to choose an age range that's like 10 to 15 years gap maximum. So like maybe you want to choose 25 to 40. Okay, so that would be like a maximum that I would do. So you want to choose different ages that are age gaps that work for you depending on your audience. And then location, you don't want to just put the world. You want to narrow it down to, if you're a brick and mortar business, you want to narrow it down to your town or your city. If you are an online only business, then you want to probably hit people that speak your same language and would be able to benefit from whatever product that you're serving. So, for me, I usually hit people in the United States because that's where I live. And, it makes sense. They're going to understand, some of the things I sell a lot better if they are in the US. So you would target that particular country. And then a general interest. A general interest is something that's not really specific, but it's something that falls within whatever category that you're marketing. So an example might be if you're a local gym owner, you might target fitness. Okay. If you're a restaurant, you might target fine dining. Okay, so that would be a general interest. So you're only going to choose 3 things when you're narrowing your ad for your first ad test. So that would be ad 1. And then you're going to duplicate or copy that exact same ad. So the same text, same picture or video, everything about the ad's the same. The only thing different in ad number 2 is you're going to change the age. So you're going to move that up or down, okay, by 10 or 15 years, and then the location. So you move the location a little bit, maybe narrow it by zip code, maybe narrow it by state, maybe add a different country. If you're a worldwide organization, maybe remove the United States and add Australia or somebody like that. And then you're going to run those ads at the same time for a minimum of 2 days, so 48 hours. And at the end of those 2 days, you're going to go back into your ads manager. You're going to take a look at your ads, and you're going to see which one performed better. Okay, which one got the most clicks, views? Did you get leads from it? If you've set everything up properly, it'll even tell you in Facebook how many leads you got out of it, or conversions is what they call it. Whoever performed the best one did not perform. Okay, so let me just show you kind of how to do that and where. So when you create your first ads, okay, so I'm logged in right now as my own account in the ads manager. What I would do is first I would click create campaign. Okay, and you're gonna have to give it a name. I'll just call it test 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're gonna choose your format. Most of the time I do a single image. So there's several. You can do like carousel. If you're selling products like retail products, that might be better for you. But for me, I just use a single photo. You could also do a single video or a slideshow. Again, I'm going to use that one. And then you would choose your image. Okay, and that you just browse your home page or your website, pull your image, and then where do you want them to go? After they click onto your image or your text in your ad, where do you want to send them? For me, I send them to what I call a capture page, where they can enter in their email address and get connected with me. Okay, and that's my URL for that. But you could literally send them anywhere. You could send them to your store. You could send them to a sales video, whatever you want to do. And then you come down here, you type in your headline. And this is what's going to show up in your ad. Let me see if I can shrink this down. So I've already kind of typed this up ahead of time, but are you looking for more time with your new baby? And then I've got this image here. And then down here, I've got my headline, Get Freedom, Get Money, download my ebook, and very simple little ad. Okay. Yeah, and all of the text, you can see it. Like if you're not sure which text goes where, type it in, and it'll automatically in real time show up here in this preview, so you can see if your ad looks right. Okay. Once you're happy with that, then make sure that you click at the very bottom where it says place order. Okay, so you would do that, and then I'm going to go back to my campaigns. Actually, I might have to go back one more here. I'll just go to here. So I don't want to save what I'm doing. Okay, here it comes. Oh, it's giving me fits today. Let me see if I can get rid of some of this stuff here. I wanted to just get an overview of all my ads. There we go. Okay, so I've got 2 ads here that are inactive right now. But what you would do is once you find an ad, or once you've created your ad, you're going to duplicate that ad. It's super easy to do it. I'm just going to click into this particular ad, and then all you do is check this little box right next to it. Okay, and then you click duplicate ad set, and it's right here. Okay, and then it'll create a duplicate of this ad, and then you can click into it. Just imagine I duplicated this. You can click into it, and then you can edit things that are in that ad. Okay, so I can edit, you know, anything here. I would not recommend editing the text though. What I would do is I would go back to make sure you're in the ad set. That's this one right here, and you're going to edit who you're actually targeting, your audience. So this would be your audience details. You're going to click on edit, and then once you're in here, you would change the age. You could change the location. Like right now I've got everybody in the US. I could change that to whatever I wanted to change it to. I could make it a specific state. I could make it and then down here in your targeting, on this one I've tested a few times, so I have 2 different targets. But what you want to do is choose one single target. You know, this is one of the things I tell everybody is don't get so detailed so that you're choosing like multiple targets. You know, maybe you're choosing income level and, you know, what they do for a job and what books they read, because the more targets or interests that you put down here, the narrower your audience gets and the less people that you actually hit. Does that make sense? So you don't want to put too many targets. You just want to do one at a time, and then test it and see which one of these ads works better. So if I was going to change this, I would, you know, obviously I've done a lot of testing, so that's why I have 2 in here, but I would remove these and I would then do a search in here, and you can type in whatever you want. Like for instance, maybe I wanted to target Seth Godin. So I would type in Seth Godin, and if there's somebody really popular, then their name will actually pop up. And he's an author. If you're not familiar with Seth Godin, he's a marketing master. So I could target more people who like Seth. And all I got to do is just click on that. And now it's going to look for people that also are corporate executives who like Seth. So I'd probably delete that one too. Okay. So you get kind of just the basic idea onto how you would choose an interest right through this section. And always remember, after you're done choosing an interest, you're going to click update down below. Okay, obviously I'm not going to save this because I already have this audience pretty well mapped out. Click cancel. All right, so let me just check on you guys, make sure that you're still with me. Oh, good. Thank you for letting me know the sound is good, Bridget. I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going to go back now to our presentation. So if you were, like I said, if you're just starting out and you want to run your first 2 ad tests, this is what I would do. And then after you've done that, you're going to track those ads. And you're going to track them by turning off the one that didn't perform as well. So how on earth do you tell which one didn't perform as well? Well, let me go back to my campaigns. So when you first log into your ads manager and you go to your ads manager, you'll see your campaigns, and you're going to look at the reach that's here. In fact, I'm going to go to two others that I have going for Branson Karate. Okay, so you're going to look at your stats that are here, and you're going to see, and what I like to do is change the column so it shows performance and clicks. That's my favorite one to look at. And now I can see that how much I've spent, so the amount that I've spent. I can see the number of clicks. So I can see right here that my top campaign, it has 1.93% of people that are viewing my ad are clicking through. And my bottom campaign, Little Dragons, less than 1%. So that one I'm actually going to turn off because I need to probably do that one and retarget him. But he is not performing as well as my other one. So all you do is you just click that little switch, and now that one is turned off. Okay, so that's really all it takes. And you can also look at, like, I like to look at the cost per click. So for this isn't bad actually, but for the Little, I was getting $1.65 per click. That's how much I was spending. Whereas on this top one, which is a video that I have for karate, my cost per click is 39 cents. So that's a lot better, and it's performing better than my other one. So I'm going to leave that one running, and then later on today, after I get done here, I will duplicate this one and make a few changes and see if I can get that even better than this, just by retargeting a different audience. Okay, I'm hoping this makes sense, but it really is. It's a process. You don't just run an ad on Facebook and then when it doesn't work, call it good. No, you test it. You keep testing. You keep changing things. And you keep, basically you take the ones that are performing well and you duplicate those and try to make it better. And you duplicate the one that performs better and close out the one that doesn't perform as well. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again until you get an ad that's working so well that you can then ramp up the amount you spend per day to a much higher level and know that you're going to get results from that ad because it's performing so well. Okay, all right, let me go back here. So you're going to turn off the one that didn't perform as well. You're going to duplicate the one that did perform well and change one single thing in that targeting. So when you're targeting, you're going to either change the age like we talked about earlier, or you're going to change the location, or you're going to change the interest. Okay, usually I change the interest and I leave the age and location the same. Okay, so these are the things that you would change one of. You don't change them all, just pick one and change it. So change the interest or the age range or the gender if you're looking to see if men or women would be better suited for your business, or your location or location. Okay, and you're going to repeat this for 48 hours. So once you've duplicated it and made that single change, you're going to run your campaign for another 2 days and see which one performs better. Make sense? Yeah, it's really a pretty simple process. Once you understand kind of the way you play the game, and once you do, you're going to start seeing much better results with your ads, and you're going to defeat that that group of people, that small business owners, 62% of them saying they aren't getting any results from Facebook. You're going to be able to prove to them that yes, it's possible to get results. You just needed somebody to teach you how to do it the right way. All right, so now you're ready to determine some audience tips. Okay, so these are some things that I want to give to you on, once you've done your first 2 campaigns and you're starting to experiment with different audiences. Here are some questions that can really help you to find even better audiences for your ads. So what I like to ask myself is, who is the perfect demographic for your offer? So for example, how old is your perfect customer? Are they male or female? Where do they live? What country, what city? What's their average income, household income? Are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced? You know, what are they? Education level. Is your best client somebody who is very well educated, or is it somebody who's a college student, or is it somebody who isn't? You know, depending on what you're marketing, it may be better to target people that do not have a college education. Okay, so these are just questions, and that's what I'm going to be going through next with you, and you should write these down, because I think a lot of times people get stuck after about their third or fourth iteration of their testing, and they don't realize that there are so many more ways that you can find a really great audience, and this is just the first step in narrowing that audience. Okay, all right, so let's go to the next one. This is tip 5, and that's who are the thought leaders, experts, or celebrities in your niche that your people might follow. So you might have to kind of start thinking about this one. Who do they follow? You know, are there certain people that are experts in your industry or who tend to do something similar that you do that your audience might follow? So like Seth Godin would be an example of somebody that my audience might follow as a marketer because he's known as being an incredible marketer, and he has many books out there, and he does a lot of speaking engagements. So you have to kind of know your audience and know who the big wigs are in the industry so that you can then target those same people. Okay, so here's another way to find out. What are the most popular books or authors or magazines in your niche? This can really, really help you because a lot of times, especially if you're just breaking into a new industry, you may not know who the celebrities are or who the famed people are in that industry yet. So here's a kind of a cheater way to find that out, is to go out to Amazon and you can look up books by topic and then see who the authors are. So, I mean, let's just do that really quickly just for the fun of it. So I'm going to go to Amazon.com. Okay. And you can see my children have been on here. I'm going to go to Amazon.com, and then I'm going to do a search for, I don't know, let's do books first of all. We need to go to books. And I don't know, give me a topic there, Brigitte, since you're live. If you can think of a topic that you would like to search for in Amazon. And I know there's a little bit of a delay with the webinar between when I speak and when you actually hear me. So I know you fairly well, Brigitte. I'm thinking I might do one on animal lovers or something like that. I could also do one on psychic ability. Motivation or mindset. Okay, awesome. That's a good one. Okay, so let me just go back into Amazon. And I'll do motivation. Well, let's just start with motivation, because if we do. Okay, so I just did motivation. And then what I've got here, let's see if we got, I wonder if it'll do bestsellers under motivation. I may have to do it over here. Happiness and self-help. Here we go, motivational self-help. Okay, and then I'm going to do, let's see, I'll do most reviews, because usually most reviews, when you do a search, that means that it's had a lot of people that have read that book. And that's what you're looking for, is a book that's gotten a lot of people that have read it, because then you can target that book or that author. So here's a really good one. I love this book. I don't know if you've read this one, Brigitte, The 4 Agreements. It's been around for a while, but wow, what a powerful book. He has another one out too. I think it's called The 5th Agreement. I haven't read that one yet though. Anyhow, so you might check out Don Miguel Ruiz, and you could target him specifically, or you could target this book, The 4 Agreements, when you are picking a niche. So like if I go back into Facebook, let's do that. I'm just going to open up one of my ads and show you what I mean. So I'll click on Fearless Freedom. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the audience. Okay, and then down here, instead of corporate moms, I would delete that, but I'm not going to right now. I'm going to type in the four agreements and check it out. That's one of the options that's here. So I could literally target people who love the 4 agreements. Okay, so that would be a really nice group of people that would like that book. So let me go back to Amazon. Another one obviously is The Secret, really great book. So you could, and look at the authors of these books, because a lot of times people will follow those authors, search on Facebook for those authors and see how many fans that they currently have on Facebook. So this is an excellent way to find interest, and you can either type in the author's name in the interest. Like if I go back here, instead of typing the 4 agreements, I could have just selected Don Miguel Ruiz. Okay, and it looks like, let me remove the 4 agreements. He even has more followers than his book. So he has 921,000 people that are interested in him, whereas I think his book had like 2,000 people, if I remember when I had it up here. So this is another way for you to target something and try to hit an audience that might have a similar interest to you and what you're selling. Pretty cool. All right, so let's go back to our audience tips. Another one, this is tip number 7, and that is, who are the most popular bloggers and podcasters in your niche? So this is another great way to do it. I like to start with podcasters, but you can always do bloggers just by doing a Google search, and you might type in motivational bloggers in your search and see who comes up. Obviously, the people that come up on the front page of Google are probably more popular than those people who don't. So you could target those people. If you want to target podcasts, one of the sites that I absolutely love is SoundCloud. I was watching or listening to the Fizzle Show today. Really great. If you're not familiar with them, they're in business. They're business tips and techniques and things like that. And it's a really great podcast I listen to quite frequently. But you can come up here and you could type in motivation, and then just do a search and see what they have. You might even try like hitting playlist. And again, this is soundcloud.com, and there's going to be all different types of motivation. Obviously, there's gym motivation, which is probably going to be music. But what you probably want is like motivational versus just motivation. That's rap music. So it might be a little bit harder to find exactly. Well, here's one, internet success. There's some more motivational. So you might say motivational speaker. Well, this is a good one here. Absolutely. Les Brown is an incredible motivational speaker. So you could target people who like Les Brown. But you can come through here and see what some of the popular ones are. Obviously, Tony Robbins is incredibly motivational, so he would be another good one to target. So hopefully this gives you an idea, and it might give you an idea on some tracks you want to listen to as well. While you're at what you do, come out here and search for some great podcasts that might help motivate you and help you to be an even better entrepreneur. All right, so let me go back. All giving you ideas on interests that you could use when you're putting together your Facebook ad. Okay, here's another one. This is tip 8. Where do your people shop? what retail stores and vendors do your people buy from that are related to your niche? So think about partner sites that they might purchase from. Like, if you're selling tools, what type of other tools would they use? Software that they might use, resources that they might use online that relate to your area of expertise. Like in my martial arts school, when I target people, especially when I'm doing seminars, I like to target people who are current customers of Century Martial Arts, because that's a provider of our different equipment and weapons and uniforms and things like that. So I know that if somebody is a current client of Century, that they are probably, because we have a lot of people that go there that have instructor accounts and buy their products through Century. So these are just ideas for how you might be able to find more of your audience. Got a few more of these for you before we finish up today. This is tip 9. What are the most popular associations or professional organizations in your niche that your people might belong to? So you can do a search on Google. Like you could do a search for motivational professional organizations or associations and see what comes up on Google. And then go out and look, and you might even contact some of those places to make sure they have a pretty good following. You don't want, a lot of people create an organization and then there's like 2 people in it. So you want to make sure it's a pretty well-known and big organization. Take a look at their website, and then go back into Facebook and target that organization in your interests. Here's another one. What Facebook pages are liked by your people? Oops. You can look at people that already are following you. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but let's just do this really quick. So if I go back to Facebook, go back to my main page. Okay. So Brigitte, I'm going to use you since you're on here. If I go to Brigitte and I open up her page, and then I click on About, and then I scroll on down, it's going to show me the books that you have liked. So, oh, those are good books. And then it's also going to show me the pages that you've liked. So I can literally pick out like customers or clients, and I can see what types of things that they liked if we're friends. It's not going to show you all this information if you're not friends with them yet, but you can come in and you can see some of the things that they like, and then you might want to target that. Like, let's check out this. Gina does Wanderlust. So I could click on that, and I can see, well, how many people like this page. So this one has 362 likes. It's a little low for for me to target Gina, but you get the idea. You could come in here, and if she has a ton of, if somebody that you're following has a ton of different likes on their page, then I may want to target that page as well. Okay, pretty neat. All right, so let me go back. And then you can also see, what Facebook groups do your perfect people belong to. I don't know if you knew this or not, but let me go back to Facebook. I'll go to my home page. Okay, so I don't know if you knew this, but you can go into Facebook and you could type in a keyword. Like, I'm going to type in motivation and just hit return. And then once you do a search, up at the very top, it's going to give you all these options. You can click on groups. Okay, so now I can look for motivation groups, and I want to look for groups that have a lot of people in them. Like this would be a good one here. I'm actually already a member of it, but it has over 9,000 members. Anything that's over, a few thousand members is usually a good one to target, because they'll have a lot of followers, and that way you can hit a lot of people. Like, look at this one. This group has over 37,000 members. So that's a really good group to belong to. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and join that one. So yeah, you can see this one has 67. This is for fitness motivation. And so it's a great way for you to then join that group, But then secondly, you're going to want to, like if I go to this one that I'm already a member of, when you click on that group, it's going to give you the full name. So here's the full name: Law of Attraction, Motivation, Inspiration. So this is the name that I'd want to copy into my interest when I'm creating that ad. Because if I type something else, it might actually link up to a different group. So you want to make sure you get the exact name of that group when you're doing your interest. Pretty slick. Who knew Facebook had so many great tools? All right, then we've got number 12. What are the most popular online discussion forums in your niche? Let's go to that one too. There's a lot of them, like Yahoo has a group, but I like Quora. Quora is a really big question and answer site, and my husband's on there all the time answering martial arts questions. That's him right there. But you can you could use Quora as an example, and that may be a good interest to target. Other groups like Warrior Forum is another one that's good for like people that are into technology in the techno field. You can go to warriorforum.com and ask questions about anything online, and there's some really smart people out there that can help you with that. But you can also just go to Google. Oops, let me go to Google and just do a search for motivation forums. We're sticking with that keyword today, motivation forums. If I can type, there we go. And let's see, and I think it'll even give you the option to do forums. Sometimes it does, maybe not. Well, here's a motivation bodybuilding forum, staying motivated forum. This is called Spark People. So that might be a good one to target, is sparkpeople.com. And what you would do is you would just go through when you do your Google search, and what I like to do is just copy the link at the top and put it into a notepad. And then I'll do a search in Facebook to see if that's one of the options that they give for an interest group. Like here's another one, Success Vibe. I could copy that. And I always like to go to the page first and just make sure that, you know, these are people that I might actually want to follow and have on, you know, in my business, and make sure it's upbeat and really positive. All right. And the last tip I want to give you is you can use Facebook Audience Insights to find additional interest. So the way that you would do this is you would take an existing interest that you've already used, and then it would tell you other things that are similar. So let me show you this really awesome little tool within Facebook. So I'm going to go back to Facebook. Okay, and I'm going to go to my Ads Manager. Okay, and once you're in the Ads Manager, you're going to click on Ads Manager and then go to All Tools. You'll see a little blue button at the bottom. And then you'll see there's all sorts of links. The one you want is Audience Insights. So I'm going to click on Audience Insights. Okay, and when I start, it always pulls up this window. I always just click everyone on Facebook to start with, and then we're going to narrow it ourselves. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll down in the Audience Insights. And remember, one of the interests we typed in a minute ago was the 4 agreements. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in the 4 agreements. Okay, so I just typed in the 4 agreements. It showed up here. And so instantly what's going to happen is it's going to show me the age and gender of what, you know, who likes that book, the 4 agreements. So you could use any of your existing interests, type one at a time in here. So I just did 1, and then I would delete that one and type in the next one. You can see that if what I want is I want to click up here now on page likes. Now that I'm in the 4 agreements, insights, page likes, it shows the author of the 4 agreements. So this one maybe is not as good as I normally get because it's only giving me 1. So let me type in a different one. Yeah, because that one, I think it only had like 2,000. It had a pretty small audience. That has 9,000. So let's get something with a bigger audience. So let's type in Tony Robbins just for the fun of it. Tony Robbins, author. Okay, so once you click on page likes, it's going to show you all of the different categories. And I'm going to scroll down here to page likes. So here are all the other people that are similar to Tony Robbins. So I've got Robert Kiyosaki, Jim Rohn, Success Magazine, Brian Tracy. So any one of these names that are here, I could use as an interest in my Facebook ad. So I could just go through this list. In fact, if you really want to get fancy, if you find one later that's doing really well for you, like maybe Brian Tracy does really well for you, you could then copy his name, come up in here, delete Tony Robbins, I'll just type in Brian Tracy, and make sure it's on page likes. And I'm going to scroll down here to page likes, and then you can see what other names pop up based on that. So like Jack Canfield is a really good one. So I'm going to click on him and see what it says about him. So here's Jack. I can see how many people have followed him on his page. Look at this. His page has over 1 million likes. Okay. There's another tool that you can use. If you scroll down on somebody's page who's really popular, like Jack Canfield, let's see, I think it's over here. Yeah, it'll show you pages that he's liked that are liked by Jack. So like usually things that he likes, his followers often like as well. He is one of the writers of Chicken Soup for the Soul on that whole series. So that's right here. And so people that like Chicken Soup for the Soul would probably be a good audience if Jack Canfield is a good audience for your market. There's some other things here, the 30-day sobriety solution. So you can see some of the things he's liked. You could even click over here and it'll show you people that he's liked as well, like Tim Ferriss, Richard Branson. So this is a great way for you to really dig deep and find even more interest that you can use in your test until you find an ad that is performing really well for you, and you're getting, as close to a 50% opt-in rate as possible on whatever it is that you're promoting. Okay, so that's ultimately your goal. All right, so let me flip my screen back around because that is the end of my presentation here. All right, I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you got a lot of value out of how to really target and narrow down your audience. If I were to leave you with one piece of advice, and that is to test your ads again and again. So don't change the image, don't change the wording in your ads. Keep that all the same. The only thing you're going to change when you're testing is the interest. And you just keep changing that, one at a time and testing it against the others to see which ones perform the best. And once you find one that's like a rock star and is performing well for you, now you're ready to add more money into that one and scale up your business and start getting regular leads and sales just by all of the testing that you did. So it's a really good deal. Let me see if there's any questions out there. All right, Bridget, I really appreciate you being here live. And for those of you that are watching this as a recording, I appreciate you, and I look forward to hearing any questions or thoughts that you have about today's presentation. So make it a great week, and we will see you next week for the Down and Dirty at 1:30. Take care.